additional details in a homicide case that we've been working since March of this year. This morning at 10 a.m., my detectives notified one of our inmates, Matthew Daniel Tamail, 22, that we were charging him with first-degree murder in the March 5th death of Hawthorne resident Louis Stackhouse. At about 8:30 a.m. on March 5th, Putnam County Fire Rescue responded to a mobile home fire at 115 Cottonwood Drive in Hawthorne. Fire rescue personnel notified deputies on scene that a body was located in the master bathroom during a search of the building. The body was later positively identified as Mr. Stackhouse, and the medical examiner's office determined the manner of death was a homicide prior to the fire. As deputies tried to locate Mr. Stackhouse, the owner of the residence, neighbors told detectives a 2008 silver Saturn Sky was also missing from the residence. The vehicle was listed as stolen, and on March 10th, the vehicle was located in Tampa, Florida. Tampa Police Department attempted to conduct a traffic stop on the vehicle and had to deploy stop sticks to make the vehicle non-drivable. Once the stop sticks were used, Tamail and an occupant, Tatiana Munoz, attempted to flee from officers, but were caught, arrested, and charged with grand theft of a motor vehicle. Both were transferred to the Putnam County Jail, where Munoz was later released on bond. Munoz is not being charged in Mr. Stackhouse's death at this time, as this investigation is still ongoing. According to the State Fire Marshal's office, the fire was determined to be arson. We believe the arson was a direct attempt by Tamail to cover up Mr. Stackhouse's murder. Matthew Tamail and Louis Stackhouse were known to one another. At this time, we're not going to disclose the manner in which they knew each other or for how long, since this is an ongoing investigation. However, we know Mr. Stackhouse's criminal record as a sex offender was previously reported, and we want to let the public know that Tamail was not his reported victim. I also want to let our residents know that while I do not condone Mr. Stackhouse's prior crimes, I cannot allow murderers to roam free. Mr. Stackhouse's family and friends deserved closure and justice, and I'm proud of my detectives for this incredible effort and to give his family some peace of mind.
Mr. Tamail, was he also a registered sex offender, or was he not?
He was not a sex offender, no.
And when you all arrested, or when he was sent back to Putnam County, was he always a suspect of this murder, or were you still working other leads as well?
He was always a person of interest, and we believe the suspect, through some diligent investigative efforts on the part of our investigators, we were able to put all those pieces of the puzzle together, which ultimately led to us charging Tamail with his murder.
Even though you said Tamail was not one of the victim's victims, does he have any connection to him in any other way, other than like family members who may have been victims?
So Tamail and Stackhouse were acquaintances or friends, but I don't want to get into a position where we're discussing any of the more intimate details of their relationship because it could potentially compromise the remainder of our investigation.
Was there anyone else, I know it's been a while since it's happened, but was anyone else injured in the fire in March?
No one else was injured in the fire. Mr. Stackhouse was the lone victim. And it's worth noting that arson was not the actual cause of death. Mr. Stackhouse actually suffered from several stab wounds, which ultimately led to his death prior to them setting fire to the residence.
So Tamail stabbed him?
Yes, that's correct.
And is there any other person of interest in this case, or do you think you have the one singular person who you're looking for?
We're still taking a really hard look at Munoz, but we haven't quite gotten that critical piece that we need to be able to identify her as a suspect and make that arrest. We're hoping that may come later on as this investigation unfolds. Okay, any other questions? All right, thank you all very much.
I have one more, I'm sorry.
Sure.
He's arrested on what are the specific charges?
Homicide.
Was there any arson charge to go along with that, or is it strictly homicide right now?
There may be some other ancillary charges. He is charged with arson as well, and also with the grand theft of Mr. Stackhouse's vehicle, the Saturn that I referenced earlier.
And the Saturn, other than whatever happened to the car because of the stop sticks, was there any other damage to the car or anything else of note involving the car?
There was no other damage to the vehicle, and coincidentally, that vehicle is held in our secure evidence storage facility here. Okay, thank you very much.
And then I'll also post that, I'll send that photo